Hello everyone, I am Nitish Kumar from BSc Biochemistry. Today we are going to discuss about ecological pyramids. Ecological pyramids was first described by Elton Charles in 1927. So it was also called as Eltonian pyramids. Definition: an ecological pyramid is a graphical representation of the relationship between different organisms in an ecosystem. Each of the bars that make up the pyramid represents a different trophic level and their order, which is based on who eats whom, represent the flow of energy. There are three parameters of each trophic level: number of individuals, amount of biomass, and amount of energy. Next, graphical representation of ecological pyramids. The ecological pyramid shows the number of organisms in each trophic level. The base of the pictorial depiction is always a producer and the apex is formed of the final level of consumers gives the shape of pyramid. As producers are always more than final level consumers. This graphical representation called as ecological pyramids. Next, type of pyramids. There are three types of pyramids as follows: pyramid of numbers, pyramid of biomass, and pyramid of energy. Pyramid of numbers. It is graphical representation of number of individual organisms at each trophic level, with producers forming the base and the carnivorous at the tip. The number pyramid does not take into the consideration of size of the organism. The emphasis is only on the whether the organisms are big or small. In fact, importance may be for small organisms like plankton. In a pyramid of numbers, each consecutive layers or levels contains fewer organisms than the level below of it. For example, consider a food chain in grassland. The producers are grass and shrubs. The first order consumers can be grasshoppers. The second order consumers can be frogs. And it goes on as snakes and then eagle. Now, let us consider the numbers in each level. It is quite obvious that the number of plants is much higher than the grasshopper, and the number of frogs is lesser than the grasshopper, and the number of snakes will be still lesser, and there are eagle only a few for the given area. Thus, a pyramid forms. Pyramid of biomass. The amount of living matter present in an environment is called biomass. This pyramid indicates the total mass of the organism in each trophic level. Upright pyramid of biomass in terrestrial ecosystem. In Upright pyramid of biomass. The base is the first trophic level where it was occupied by primary plants. The secondary trophic level was primary consumers or herbivores, where the third trophic level was occupied by secondary consumers or carnivores. The biomass of trophic level depends on the reproductive potential and longevity of the member. Biomass is high in long-lived organisms. Consider an example of plants or grass where the produces that are consumed by deer and they are in turn consumed by lions. An enormous mass of grass is required to support a smaller mass of deer, which in turn would support a still smaller mass of lion. When these masses are arranged according to trophic levels with producers at the base, we again get a upright pyramid of biomass. Inverted pyramid of biomass in pond ecosystem. The pyramid of biomass in an aquatic ecosystem is inverted. The biomass of trophic level depends on the reproductive potential and the longevity of the member. In the case of long-lived organism, the biomass is high. The biomass of phytoplankton is less than the biomass of zooplankton. The biomass of carnivores is higher than the herbivores. For example, phytoplanktons are the producers that are consumed by small herbivorous fish and they are in turn consumed by large carnivorous fish. The biomass of phytoplankton is less as compared with that of small herbivorous fish that we feed on these producers. The biomass of large carnivorous fish that depends on small fishes is still greater. Therefore, the pyramid of biomass is inverted. Pyramid of energy. The energy pyramid indicates the total amount of energy present in each trophic level. It also shows the loss of energy from one trophic level to the next. The energy pyramid shows that the energy is transferred from one trophic level to the next is accompanied by degrees due to waste and conversion of political energy into kinetic and heat energy. It is evident that as energy is passes from one producer to a consumer, a lot of energy is lost and the last trophic level receives much less energy. The energy pyramid is more widely used than the others because comparison can be made between trophic levels of different ecosystems. Importance of ecological pyramid. The importance of ecological pyramid can be explained in the following points. They show the feeding of different organisms in different ecosystems. It shows the efficiency of energy transfer. The condition of ecosystems can be monitored and any further damage can be prevented. Albert Einstein once said, if the bee disappears from the surface of the earth, man would have no more than 4 years to live. Earth was made for all beings, not just human beings. Live and let live. Live with nature. Thank you.